Have you ever felt like you're constantly running a race just to feel worthy? Like if you just heal one more trauma, read one more self-help book, or say the right affirmations, you'll finally arrive at a place of peace. For years, that was my story. I was taught to achieve everything by doing more, so I tried to do my way into worthiness. I thought healing would make me lovable, that devotion meant endless work on my inner self. Every tear I shed, I labeled as progress. Every time I forgave someone, I told myself I was becoming a better person. But deep down, I was just trying to earn permission to rest in my own being. I was chasing a grace that was already inside me. There's something so exhausting about trying to become whole, isn't there? It traps you in a cycle of believing that wholeness is always just one more transformation away. Peace, I thought, was at the end of all my effort. But the truth of this softer, more feminine path revealed itself when I finally ran out of effort. When the tears stopped, not because I was healed, but because I was just empty. There, in the stillness, something sacred began to breathe. I didn't need to fix myself. I only needed to feel myself again. This is the first phase I want to talk about, the unraveling. It begins when all your striving stops working. When the affirmations feel hollow and the spiritual tools you've collected fall silent. It's that moment your soul gently whispers, enough, and you're not sure if it's surrender or defeat. I remember my unraveling so clearly. I was sitting in silence, surrounded by journals and online courses I'd spent thousands on, all promising to change my life. And still, that ache was there. Why can't I just feel my worth? It wasn't that I didn't believe in growth. I believed in it too much. I believed I could fix everything through sheer will and awareness, but worthiness isn't a summit you can climb. It's a memory. It's a familiar scent that brings you home. The unraveling came when I finally stopped trying to hold my identity together, the identity of the one who heals, who grows, who is always evolving. And who am I if I'm not constantly improving? That thought was terrifying. And yet, this unraveling was mercy. It was love unwrapping the tight knots around my soul, whispering, you don't have to hold yourself so tightly. Every unraveling is an invitation to soften. And that brings us to the second phase, the softening. Softening is the art of no longer resisting your own tenderness. It's not weakness. It's a profound willingness to let life touch you again without bracing for impact. It's when you stop intellectualizing your pain and start holding it gently, like a child. For women, especially, this can feel rebellious. We're taught to be composed, capable, and to heal efficiently. But the feminine way doesn't rush feeling. It doesn't strive for enlightenment. It lets the light in. When I began to soften, I noticed small shifts. I spoke to myself more slowly. My breath became deeper. I stopped filling the silence with mantras, and instead I listened. I started to receive without guilt, to cry without needing to label it as a release, and to rest without feeling like I had to earn it first. And in that softening, a paradox emerged. I felt everything I had been avoiding, yet it hurt less. Because I had finally stopped resisting, I realized my worth wasn't waiting on the other side of my healing. It was pulsing right underneath it all along. The tears weren't just cleansing me, they were baptizing me back into my own humanness. That's when you start to sense it, that quiet divine pulse beneath your ribs, the presence that never left you, the softness that says, you are still mine. You were never separate from the divine, not even in your confusion or your striving. You were simply learning how to listen. This is where worthiness takes on its true shape, not as self-esteem or confidence, but as a living remembrance of being made from love. Worth is not a reward, it's a return. And this leads us to the final phase, the return. The return is not some grand dramatic event. It's quiet, subtle, and holy in its simplicity. It's when you start living as if you're already enough because you finally feel it in your bones. You stop proving. You stop apologizing. You simply start asterisk being asterisk. The return feels like slow mornings where you make tea just to hold something warm. It feels like forgiving yourself for not blooming faster. It feels like knowing you can be both divine and messy, sacred and human, all at once. We stop trying to find God out there and begin recognizing God in here. We see love in our own reflection. We hear the divine in our sigh. We feel grace in the way life continues to meet us, even after all our forgetting. All your spiritual searching was never wasted. Every prayer, every tear, it all led you here. Not because it gave you worth, but because it cleared away the clutter of striving so you could see the worth that was always there. You start to walk differently. You move through your days not to prove your goodness, but to express your sense of belonging. The world begins to mirror this back to you. People treat you with more respect, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. Your very being becomes a sanctuary. If you take anything from this today, let it be this. You are already the temple you seek. You are already the proof of divine perfection breathing in human form. Let yourself rest in that. Let yourself soften into it. Real worthiness feels like exhaling after years of holding your breath. It feels like finally trusting that you are safe to be loved exactly as you are. This isn't about having no pain. It's about having presence within it. You are not here to earn worthiness. You are here to feel it again. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. If this message touched you, if a little part of you whispered, yes, I invite you to subscribe for more gentle reminders of your divine belonging. Or for now, just close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and whisper with me, I am whole. I am loved. I am home.